Morning, folks. Brian here, Geomagnetic Earthwatch, Sunday, May 18, 2025. Two things to report. First, North Macedonia, grid failure affecting half the country, major cities and critical infrastructure. The suspected cause is an overabundance of solar energy generated by their solar array fields. So I say again, the suspected cause is the overabundance of solar energy. Remember my talk a few days ago. Creating abnormally high levels of voltage levels. So this surge caused the safety mechanisms to kick in and shut down part of the grid, substantial part of the grid. There are transformers and key substations. Now, it should be noted that the grid went down at sunrise just as the solar arrays started to power up to receive the solar energy. It was too much. It overloaded the 400 kilowatt systems. So let me take you on a little bit of a tour of Macedonia. So Macedonia, and apparently some areas of the Balkans are also affected. So here's just one of their solar array locations, quite extensive, quite large. So I'm just curious how long this is. So about 2 kilometers long of solar arrays. And at the same time, this morning, the Orly airport in France has now sustained a severe ATC, air traffic control disruption, radar failure. Please go back to my video on May 15th titled GNSS ADS/B failures. This is what I'm talking about. So once again, the GNSS is the Global Navigational Satellite System, and ADS/B is the Automatic Dependent Surveillance Broadcasting System, essential for safe aircraft navigation, communications, ATC communications, radar communications. Now, I'm just doing this initial report. This takes time to do some further thoughts and investigation, but I've said this before, I suggested this before. Solar panels are receiving more voltage than they should be, or more photonic energy than they are safely rated for. And in this case, in the power failure in North Macedonia, this is exactly what happened. They received too much photons coming in. Maybe even some additional protons because of the increased solar winds. Hang on a minute. So these events started when we had a slight rise in the KP index right here, starting at 0600 UTC. And it's the same time as the sunrise for Macedonia. I'm just checking our solar wind speeds. Nothing is in yet for 050600 UTC. But it did end off last night at over 800 kilometers per second. So going back to my theory that the planet is developing multiple magnetic poles, spotty here and there, which creates weak zones over the planet. And then remember my video about the speed of the solar winds, the steam locomotive versus the speed of the bullet train. That bullet train that's just hitting us hard and hard and hard. And it's bringing in those highly charged particles. Then sunrise hits, and it hits those solar panels in Macedonia. Safety mechanism shuts them down. So this brings up an interesting discussion. If you have your own solar panels at your own home setup, whether it's large array or small like mine, is what should we do? Fortunately mine, because mine pivot, they rotate. When I know there's inbound solar weather coming in, I can turn them around so they're facing north and not south. Now again, my panels are rated for 200 watts, but I've been pulling in about 220 at least. I have to do a lot of thought on this. So this is one of my units, the EcoFlow unit, the River 2 Pro 768 watt unit, and it'll tell you everything you need to know, including how many watts, input watts you're bringing in. I have to do a lot of more thought research. So with these units, it has what's called pass-through power. So when the batteries in that unit are charged up, it will continue to receive the solar energy, and it'll bypass the batteries and pass through that solar energy to whatever you have plugged into it. You gotta think about your own safety precautions now. I gotta think about this a lot and do a follow-up video. So the grid vulnerability now comes into question. The solar energy surges that we're going to be having, and the grid vulnerability. And if it's an up-to-date modern grid, it's going to have safety features, which is automatically going to shut the grid down, like it did in Macedonia. Very interesting, huh? Clean green energy being shut down when there's just too much photonic energy coming in. So anyway, I'll include a couple of links of what's going on. Very interesting series of events, wouldn't you say? That is all.